Welcome back. Let's learn why luck loves people who pay attention. Slow down, listen closely, and let small, faithful steps do what they've always done. Open the way. Luck. People talk about it like it's a shy cat. Appears when it wants, disappears when you reach for it. On the road, a different picture emerges. Luck isn't a lottery ticket. It's whether you learn to read. Move enough, listen enough, and you keep ending up where the good breezes blow. Today, we'll walk 3 paths. First, how travel makes you findable to fortune, and why variance is both a gift and a teacher. Then, we'll step into the soul of the road, pilgrimage and wandering, landscapes as tutors, hospitality as sacrament. Finally, we'll open the machine and listen for 4 quiet gears. Shock, encounter, risk, ritual. Simple words, deep work. Luck is action and intention, not magic. In old stories, chance had names. Tyche, Fortuna. Bacht, Baraka. Sailors prayed, merchants bargained, pilgrims trusted step by step. None believed they could control her. They tried to be standing in the market when her cart rolled by. Travel does exactly that. It puts you in more markets, more docks, more kitchens, more conversations you could never schedule. Your life gets a larger surface area for little miracles to land. Picture a port at dawn. Nets come in. Languages braid over coffee. News arrives before the newspaper. That's luck's favorite habitat. Edges where different worlds touch. A caravanserai was a search engine made of people. A tea stall is still a university with steam. You meet a mechanic who knows a cousin who knows a studio that needs your skill. You didn't plan it, you just showed up, open and unhurried. But the coin has a second face, variance. The open door that lets opportunity in also lets weather in. Broken buses, stomach bugs, storms with teeth. The road widens the bell curve. Highs are higher, lows are lower. That isn't a flaw, it's the price of admission. This is why the old virtues still matter. Prudence, courage, temperance. Read signs. Step forward anyway. Don't let appetite drive the car. Prudence is kindness to your future self. It reads clouds and faces. It learns the respectful price of a market, neither too soft nor too sharp. It buys water before thirst. Courage is the warm hand that holds prudence's hand. Without it, you never leave the guest house, and luck scrolls past your window like a feed. With it, you accept the awkward invitation, trust your best judgment and your backup plan. Temperance keeps the rest honest. It says no to the 5th drink and yes to the early start. It keeps you generous without becoming foolish, curious without becoming careless. Up close, getting lucky looks small. A seat opens next to a retired teacher of the very thing you're trying to learn. A storm delays you, and in the delay you meet someone who will shape your next 2 years. A wrong turn becomes the right street for a conversation you'll tell 10 times later. Luck often arrives wearing work clothes. How do we meet it well without superstition, with a little art? Sit with one stranger a week, nothing dramatic, a shared bench, a table you wouldn't usually choose. Ask about their craft. Let them teach you a tiny trick, how to read mangoes, how to fix a squeaky hinge with soap, how to greet their grandmother properly. Then give something back. Be a person whose curiosity has hands. Carry 2 gifts in your bag, small, portable, human, tea from your hometown, stickers for kids, a pen that writes like silk, a poem folded into a square. Gifts aren't bribes, they're door handles. They turn a transaction into a hello. Keep a simple ratio. For every ask, make 2 offers. Offer to carry a bag up the stairs. Offer to send photos from the ferry. Offer to show a traveler the way you learned 5 minutes ago. You won't keep score perfectly. Posture matters more than math. Fortune nods at those who make themselves useful. Give yourself a yes window now and then, a half day where your default is gentle agreement. Not unsafe agreement, just a willingness to follow a thread, a courtyard tea, a side street festival. You'll collect dull hours. You'll also collect the kind of hour that puts a new color in your life. Luck lives in the ratio. Show up with rhythm, same tea stall, same hour for a week. Watch what gathers, conversations, tips, jobs, stories. Rhythm tells a neighborhood, I'm not just taking, I'm part of the morning now. When you become part of the morning begins to work for you. Finally, gratitude, the quiet multiplier. Ask at dusk, what did fortune try to give me today that I almost missed? The last seat under the fan, the child who wanted to practice hello, the side road that smelled like oranges. Write it down. Thank it. Grateful eyes are sharp eyes. Sharp eyes spot open doors. The soul of the road. There's a moment on every honest journey when steps start to sound like prayer. Not the loud kind with trumpets, the small kind that lives in bones. You realize the road isn't only carrying you through places, it's carrying you through versions of yourself. Pilgrimage is travel with a vow wrapped around it. Tirtha, a ford, means the world becomes crossable. You circle a stone or climb a hill before sunrise, and something gentle happens. The body remembers what the mind forgets. The steps teach patience. The turn teaches humility. The long line teaches equality. Elbow to elbow with strangers whose stories you don't know, but whose hunger for meaning feels like yours. Geography becomes a rosary. Time becomes an altar. Wandering promises room to breathe. The Taoist smile lives here. Loosen your grip and see what lies under the labels. Walk lightly, and the world stops being a catalogue. A mango is not content. A temple is not architecture. You begin to notice that identity, the one you polish and defend, is a little tight. The road files it down. Edges remain. They poke fewer people. Landscapes become tutors. Desert has no patience for drama. It gives you a horizon and asks for attention. Footprints vanish as soon as you make them. The desert teaches truth-telling. Drink water. Say only what you mean. Mountains teach proportion. They don't care who you are, and that is a relief. Smallness, once insult, becomes medicine. Sea teaches trust. You trim the sail, you don't command the wind. Some days glitter, some days steel. Either way, you work with what comes. Surrender isn't defeat, it's alignment. And hospitality is the sacrament you didn't know you needed. You arrive frayed and proud, and a door opens. Someone who owes you nothing makes room. They correct your shoes at the threshold. Mistake with a smile that saves your dignity. Tea is poured in the order a grandmother taught. Elders first, guests next, children last. Without a lecture, you learn what this house loves. Your hands learn a new choreography. Your voice learns a new kindness. Two moral worlds meet and bow. If you let it, that bow widens the circle you call us. Keep the soul awake with small rituals. A breath at every bridge. A hand to the heart before entering a kitchen. One shared meal a day with someone outside your bubble. No photos, no rush. Just time thickening over steam. Step aside at a shrine and let the devout pass first. If you don't share their faith, borrow their reverence for a minute and offer your silence. Respect is courage in soft clothes. There will be tourist-tired days, too many stairs, too many signs you can't read. Shrink the ambition, choose one good act and do it well. Learn the bread seller's name and use it tomorrow. Sit 10 minutes and listen to the neighborhood breathe. The soul doesn't want fireworks. It wants honesty and a rhythm it can keep. The road exposes attachments. Coffee at exactly 9. The need to be the smartest at the table. The rule that conversation runs at your speed. Travel makes these visible by gently breaking them. When you feel the pinch, you can defend the habit or bless the lesson. Blessing the lesson doesn't mean you never get your way. It means you practice being larger than your way. That practice is spiritual muscle. What returns with you is the test. Souvenirs are sweet, but the invisible luggage matters more. How you greet neighbors, the extra 2 seconds you give a cashier, the new patience for an elder's story you've heard 3 times. If travel worked on your spirit, life at home feels a little more like a pilgrimage and a little less like a sprint. The secret gears of the road. If travel were a machine, you'd hear 4 quiet gears turning. They hum more than they clang. Shock, the snow globe shake, makes you pay attention. Your predictions miss, perception wakes. Encounter turns rooms into teachers. Hospitality stretches we. Risk widens the bell curve and trains discernment. Courage and prudence hold hands. Ritual points you beyond appetite and keeps your compass true. They mesh in sequence. Shock invites attention. Attention makes you good at encounter. Encounter invites risks worth taking. Risk pushes you toward rituals that ground you. The cycle tightens until you return home with a different stance. Lighter on your feet, heavier in your care. Try a simple day to feel the machine work. Wake early and let surprise find you before your phone does. Say a real good morning to the street sweepers. Ask one elder a question you can try for a day. Carry a small gift. Pause at thresholds. Share a table. Write 3 lines before sleep. What startled me, what helped me, who I thanked. No grand vows, just rhythm. Small gears turning. When nothing turns, when you're tired, when the city is loud in the wrong ways, let the smallest gear carry the weight. Keep one ritual, the breath at the door. The thank you said like you mean it. Even on dull days, a faithful act keeps the engine from rusting. Next episode, what all this makes of you. The real changes, the gentle risks, the way to come home without shrinking, and the practices that keep growth alive long after your suitcase is back on the shelf.